everybody, and welcome back to Elderberry Sprout. So today I want to do my 2023 bullet journal setup for you guys. This bullet journal does live inside of my traveler's notebook, and I'll do a little video about what other signatures I have in here to show you my new setup for 2023. However, this is the bullet journal that lives in it. So I'd like to go into all of the different spreads I have set up for 2023 and some of the systems that I'm going to be implementing. So just to get started, I was very inspired by JashiiCorrin here on YouTube. She has amazing bullet journal videos. And after being out of the bullet journal game for a couple of years, I was still using a bullet journal. I just didn't have the normal like yearly spreads because of COVID. So getting back into the game, she was very helpful giving some spread inspiration. So to start off with, I'm using a notebook that I think I got at like Michael's for $5 or $6, and I got some little metal corners that I punched onto there, and I'm going with orange instead of black to spice it up a little bit. Here's my welcome page. I put this scrapbook paper along the edges and here along the spine to reinforce it because I used the same notebook last year, and I realized that, or actually, yeah, for this whole year of 2022, and I realized that it was a little bit, I guess, delicate there, so I wanted to reinforce that. Then, let's see, here on the side I have a Sunday weekly reset ritual, and then a monthly reset ritual here, just to help me focus on my goals and stay, I guess, focused on what I really want to achieve, and like, kind of separating the wheat from the chaff, the important things, and ignoring a little bit more of the fluffy stuff that doesn't matter. Then I have a little feelings chart because in my habit tracker, I will be tracking my feelings pretty frequently. So I wanted to have a little reference here of what those feelings are going to be. And then if I'm feeling directionless, I might use my daily planning little checklist here. And as JashiiCorrin suggested, you can put tape over these to make them, let me show you, to make them semi-erasable. So I got this refillable dry erase marker that I put a little piece of felt on the back of. And now once I'm done with these things, ideally you let them dry first, but then you can just erase it because it's on that piece of plastic. So I thought that was a really cool level of functionality to have for repeating tasks like that. And they're right here in the front, so they're easily accessible. Let's see, I also have this little chart here that is talking about urgent and important tasks and which ones in this little matrix are important to do versus delay, delegate, and delete. So I thought that's very helpful for me to focus on the actual important things. And here I've got a couple words of the year. I've got connect and discern desires. This is just kind of a focus I want to have for myself this year. So connecting to myself and figuring out what I genuinely want to do for myself, not for others. So there's that welcome page. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going a little outside of my comfort zone with the color selection, but it's the scrap paper I had, and honestly this kind of reminds me of my room when I was younger. It had all these fun bright colors, so it's kind of nice to bring me back to that. And once again I reinforced this section here with some tape. And JashiiCorrin also suggested to tape or glue these two pages together because they're generally, you can't open this one out all the way because of the way it's adhered, so you can make it into a little pocket, which is exactly what I've done here. And on here, let's see, I'll show you all my little pocket items. First I have monthly bills, so this is every day of the month, repeating, and all of the monthly bills I have. And then I also have, these are like, I guess, yearly things, so it's each month, and then I have certain things that are yearly, so like, you know, when your tabs are due or whatever. Then I have my pay days and the pay periods. I have a weird pay schedule for the job that I have, so it's good to remember what pay periods are for that. And then I have a vertical ruler, which is a little fancier than it needs to be, and it took longer than I should have to make. But this will be useful in a lot of the spreads that I make. So there's that guy. And then I have weekly reflection prompts and some monthly reflection prompts, if I can say that properly. So this is something I haven't done before, but I would like to implement for this year. So then I have my index, which is pretty basic. This is just the yearly pages, and then essentially I'm just going to do December, you know, and then the months going forward in this section here. And if there are any collections, I'll just add a little section over here, or even use this page since it's still pretty empty. So these are my work passwords. Not gonna show those to you guys, but I will say the color I used for this like highlighting is this 990, which you'll see a lot in this journal. I love this 990. It's nice and neutral without being without being aggressive. I don't know, grays are nice as well, but I like this like kind of beigey color. So I have my work passwords. Oh, and this is from a tarot spread I did for this year. I pulled 2 cards that presented themselves to me, and they align perfectly with my intent for the year. So I'll actually bring those cards to you. They're kind of funny. So the cards I have are the stink bug and the skunk, which I just thought was way too funny that they were both like one of the stinkier cards out there. So apparently I need to think about, I think it's enforcing the concept of boundaries, which I've talked about on this channel before. But yeah, just like reinforcing that with 2 separate cards there. So I thought that was pretty funny. So just a little bit of journaling on that. And then we get into the actual yearly spreads. So this is my year at a glance. Pretty simple. Have little highlighted spots for different dates. I have the moon phases on here. I like how this one turned out. Have a little bit of washi tape on the top and bottom. I'm going to try to be introducing challenges for each month of wellness habits I want to do. So I have the first 6 months planned out that I want to meditate every day, do yoga for my shoulders, gratitude, reading, 20-minute tidy, and shower daily. So those are my first 6 months. I'll figure out what I'm going to do for the next 6 months, but that's going to be an easy way to track that. Just use like some type of pen and then highlight the days that I do that on. Then I have my media tracker for all the different media I consume. I've already started filling that in a little bit. This is continued for that. And something I'm trying to focus on more is spa days. So doing a lot more physical water rituals with my self-care practice. So I have a little spa day section there as well. And these are going to be monthly highlights. So I'm just going to draw a little doodle in each of these little boxes for the month. And I don't know, I like to play with words. So this is the word highlight, and I used a whiteout pen to add highlights to the highlight. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Every time I see that, I chuckle. And then here I've got some nourishing meals. I'm really focusing on balancing my meals a little bit more. I know I've been focusing a lot on carbohydrates because I've kind of been in like a just like safety bubble for a while. So I'm trying to branch out more into more cohesive, balanced meals. And this reminds me here of the proteins and the veggies and the carbs, then easy go-to breakfast, lunch, and dinners, easy snacks, and casserole ideas, because I really love having casseroles in the fridge. So I can just chop them up and heat them up and eat them up. So if I get more ideas, I'll add them there. And here's my where to watch what page and downloads page. Downloading stuff that it's hard to find anywhere else. And I have a couple of the different streaming services here with what is repeated on there. So like weekly shows that I like to watch on there. So Hulu, I remember that Bob's Burgers is on the Hulu app. Sometimes I log into the wrong thing, and that helps me remember that. And then I have some suggestions from family members. Oh, and here, these are things or activities I can do that help me elevate my energy. So something that helps my mind, helps my body, and helps my inner child or like my inner spirit. So, yeah, so just if I'm feeling low, maybe I can come to this page and find some things that would help me balance my energy out. And with that inner child part, it always ends up coming back to creating things for me. So here's a different page of all the different projects I can work on. And sewing and woodwork are not the only things I work with, so I left this empty part down here for whatever else comes up. Like cork coasters, what would that be considered? Just a craft? That's not sewing, that's not woodwork, it's, I don't know, cork work, I guess. But anyway, all my creative project ideas there. Once again, JashiiCorrin had this idea of having a, when you're starting the journal and when you end the journal, where you're at relative to different elements. So I have eating, watching, thinking, song, podcast, doing, loving, solving, and embodying. Those are the different elements I'm putting in there. So I've already filled that out, and it's gonna be fun to see what I'm like in 6 months from now. Oh yeah, because traditionally these journals do last me about 6 months, and I've planned it out this way, month-wise already, that it's gonna last me 6 months, so. Then I have this eventual to-do list where essentially it's things that are out of season. Where I live, there are pretty extreme seasons, so there are certain tasks that I just can't do in certain seasons. So if I think of them and they're like plaguing my brain, I'll have this little space where I can write them down so I can just offload it out of my brain and say, oh yeah, I put that down. When I need to reference it, I know where it is. So there's that page. Once again, coming back to my spa day idea, these are things that I think are rewarding for me to do. Of course, everybody else's idea of what a spa day looks like to them would change, but these are the things that work for me. So if I do feel low and like I need to give my body some extra love and care, here's a brainstorm idea of what I can do. Here we're running into my business section. So these are my running business tasks. I left a couple different sections here because I feel like where I'm headed in my life is pretty multifaceted, so I don't want to just limit myself to making candles or having a website / blog. I want to also have a couple other things going on here, so yeah, so I just left that open, and I haven't transferred all the ideas I do have into this yet, but I have a feeling that I will, because I have a couple other just scraps of paper floating around. Since I didn't have a place to put these ideas, I'll end up putting them here finally. Then here I've got YouTube video ideas. Pretty simple one on different categories of things. I've got a lot of magic and grimoire ideas, which I guess is expected. I do a lot of those already, so maybe I'll start doing more magical videos of just magical crafting and whatnot, so. And then here's my YouTube video workflow. You can see here's December 9th, 2023 bujo setup. So I've already got the idea for that, so I've marked that off there. I'm gonna try to integrate more social media marketing for my videos, which I don't really do. I don't know, if you're a good business person, you're supposed to market yourself, right? So I'm working on that part. So this is a little reminder of what I'm supposed to do after each video. You can see I'm having trouble doing that, but it's all good. So there's my workflow so I don't miss any steps when I'm making videos. See, and then we come back into December, which I showed you guys last week. But I do want to say that what I did here on the edge of these pages is each one of these, like, here you go, video ideas. There's these little tabs, which were just little white stickers. Essentially, if you have any type of sticker paper, you can cut little squares out of the remainders and turn them into these little tabs where I just write very tinily video ideas or like business on the sides, and now I have all of these really easy accessible tabs for whatever page it is I want to flip to. And the easiest thing for me, I've noticed, is to make it about the size of my thumb so that when I do want to flip there, I just have to hold it down and I can just flip straight to it. So that makes it pretty easy for me. But yeah, I'm really liking how this spread has turned out. It reminds me of doing bullet journal setup videos years and years ago, and I'm just loving it again. I don't know, having that daily reference of a beautiful page is just, I don't know, there's something special about that, and just being able to enjoy the beauty of it. I mean, not particularly this page, it's rather simple, but I just feel like experiencing that beauty is good for the spirit, so. Anyway, going to the back of the journal, because you guys can see that I have essentially set up my months by having this little border on the side, and then I'll end up trimming all the pages like I have here, where I have them cut and cropped in a little bit. I'll do that for each of the months, and I do have my washi tape set in there. I have a couple of decorations for each of the months so far. Yeah, and then flipping to the back after my 6 months, the last 2 pages, like the pages that I did in the front where I glued them together to make that little pocket, I did a similar thing here where I washied these 2 together to make a little pocket for, let's see what I have in there now. I've got a card with some washi tape. These were the washi tapes that I did use for this setup. I just got those at the thrift store. And some paper scraps. So if I ever mess up, here's some dot grid paper, and here's a vintage paper. This is from like the 1840s, I want to say. It's really beautiful, and I used that for one of my monthly setups, so that's just an extra scrap of that. Yeah, and that's about all I have in there. Let's see. And I do have these little homemade paper clips, which I really like these guys. I like to put them on the full section of a month once I have fully migrated every task I need to do out of that month. I put this little paper clip on the top so I don't need to reference or accidentally flip to any of those pages when I'm trying to reference things. So I have like, what, 6 of those? 5 of them up there. So I'll be good to go for the whole year. Once I'm done with a month, I'll just grab it from the back and paper clip the whole month closed. And on the very back page, I've got, I guess, my pen loop up here and some sticky notes. Really simple. I got some, this was from a match. I was lighting a candle and the match landed on there and I smudged it. So now I've got a beautiful ashy smudge there. I can just think of it as like a protection. Maybe I'll actually burn a match and like draw a sigil on this back page. That could be a creative way to solve that problem. Anyway, there's the back of my journal. I've got the elastic on there, which I don't end up using since it's in the traveler's notebook, but anyway, there you have it. This is my 2023 setup. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I hope this helps to inspire you guys to really decorate and think about the functionality of how your notebook is going to help you going forward. Yeah, I definitely check out JashiiCorrin. I'm going to link her videos down below. She's a big inspiration for the spreads I did. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a magical day. Bye.